that. I can say yes to everything. I have a million ideas going on in my head all at once. I have a huge 100-item list of all the new hobbies and passions that I want to dive into, and not just dive into, but get really, really good at. And a million ideas of different side gigs, different businesses that I could potentially start, 1,000 new books that I want to read, tons of new topics I want to deep dive and learn more about. I have the big social life. I have so many new people that I'm constantly meeting and wanting to plan events with and get together with. And I just live big. And I love saying yes to everything. I want to say yes to every opportunity. I want to do it all. And I want to do it all now. Messy perfectionists, which I am a part of that group, tend to think this way. And we also have this strong belief of like, there are no limitations. I will ignore all limitations. But while we ignore limitations and we have that belief of I can do anything, we oftentimes don't realize that while we might be able to do anything, we can't actually do everything. And that's what will quickly lead us into burnout and oftentimes not following through on a lot of those things that we start and we set our mind to. In this video, I'm deep diving into the world of the messy perfectionists, which I ranked number 2 for, very, very close to my number 1, which was the Parisian perfectionist. And if you haven't yet, pause, watch this video on the 5 types of perfectionists. I do a general brief overview of each one, and there's also a quiz linked there. So you can go deep dive, understand a little bit more about which type of perfectionists, 1 or 2 that you tend to kind of gravitate towards most in your personality and the way that you see the world and your behaviors and your patterns. And then from there, you can go ahead and watch these other videos that I'm currently creating that go deeper into each type of perfectionist. And this is all influenced by this book, The Perfectionist Guide to Losing Control by Katherine Schafler, that I am currently reading and learning. So like all of this I'm learning from her. And she's a psychotherapist who specializes in working with perfectionists like you and me. So a very, very credible, great resource to be pulling from. And I'm just taking you along my journey as I have recently discovered how my perfectionism traits aren't just little traits that come out. They're like entire personalities, world views, ways of navigating the world and like the lens through which I see the world, which is so different from a lot of people. It's not just trying to look perfect and be perfect. It's so much more than that. And we are deep diving in. Let's go. Messy perfectionists are in love with starting. They love, love, love new beginnings. Messy perfectionists are optimistic and they start every new project, new idea, new pursuit with high energy and enthusiasm and excitement. However, oftentimes that can fizzle out and they can lose momentum and motivation if the project doesn't maintain that same level of excitement throughout the whole thing. And that can fizzle out and lead to us not actually finishing or completing that project, that idea, that whatever the thing is. And we kind of have a track record for getting really excited about new ideas, going all in, and then not finishing them. And then we get excited about a whole other idea, and then we're just like, there, squirrel brain. They can often take on 1,000,007 projects and then abandon them all. And reading this sentence just killed me because it is 1,000% me, and I feel just so seen in this. Is this also you? At the beginning, messy perfectionists think that their enthusiasm will be enough to sustain whatever endeavor it is that they've set their mind to. However, they don't quite realize that enthusiasm alone isn't going to be enough, and they don't quite understand that there are real limitations and their enthusiasm alone will not be enough to sustain them. Limitations such as time, money, physical energy, and so on. Their Instagram profiles are the ones where in the bio it features vague and very, very differing types of job descriptions, such as chef and photographer and professional gardener and hula hooper and dancer and author and speaker. And the list goes on because they're so multidimensional and they're expansive. They do it all. Messy perfectionists are die-hard romantics who convince themselves that as long as they have the heart and the passion for something, it will all work out. There's an endearing naivety that surrounds messy perfectionists. They live in this bubble that you almost just like really don't want to pop. And we need messy perfectionists in the world. They are the champions of infinite possibility. They effortlessly push through the anxiety of new beginnings, and they inspire others with their enthusiasm and their passion and optimism, and the world would be a dimmer place without them. Messy perfectionists possess tremendous gifts, but none of these gifts can actually come to fruition without focus, and that is the challenge. These types of perfectionists are called messy perfectionists, not necessarily because they live a messy lifestyle or their house is crazy messy, but rather because they try to do a million things all at once that tend to, at least figuratively, pile all over the place on top of one another. And like I said before, messy perfectionists blatantly ignore their limitations and live by this idea, this core belief that they can do anything all at once. And this is something that has been my forefront of lessons learned recently in grad school because I'm trying to do so much at once. I'm having so much fun in creating these YouTube videos and just sharing what I'm learning with other people. It's so much fun for me. But I'm also a full-time grad student to become a licensed psychotherapist. It is a ton of work. It is a full-time job in itself, especially for this program that I'm going through, which is condensed 3-year graduate program into 2 years. So it is like drinking water out of a fire hose. And I also have so many passions and hobbies that I'm constantly adding more and more to that I want to get really, really good at, like mountain biking and rock climbing and acro yoga. I want to do 100 different volunteer opportunities at all of these different nonprofits. I want to start a book club. I'm always reading at least 10 books at the same time, and rarely do I actually finish them. I have so many different ideas of different side hustles, side gigs, entrepreneur ideas that I want to pursue, and the list goes on. And then I try to do all of that all at once, which is so unrealistic. And then I keep falling in the cycle of burning myself out. And then because I try to do too much all at once, I don't recognize my limitation, but I'm doing all of it with enthusiasm and passion and excitement, then I end up getting slowly less and less sleep each night because it's literally so hard to fall asleep because I go to bed from that place of enthusiasm and excitement and a million ideas, like a million little thought bubbles popping up here of all these different roads that I want to travel. Oh, speaking of travel, I have a huge list of all the countries that I want to travel to and very specific things that I want to do in every single country. It is exhausting, but it's also fueled by this like life force energy of pure fire, passion, excitement, like that go, go, go energy. And I get commented on that a lot from people. And it used to kind of make me feel good, but now I'm recognizing that that's something that actually needs to be kind of reined in a little bit. And I need to get better at finding a balance between prioritizing what is the most important for me so that I can actually finish one of these things and make this a bit more of a sustainable pursuit. Sound familiar to you? Messy perfectionists believe that they can do it all without ever having to give anything up. That they can be the humans that can figure out how to exist without limitations. Yes, that's exactly it. That's it. You too? The fall from the high that messy perfectionists get when they begin something is fast and formidable. When she falls, she turns it into some idea of it being a bad characteristic of herself, such as she's not persistent enough, her ideas aren't good enough, no one takes her seriously. It can result in feelings of real depression, which can be really scary for her in being such a stark contrast for her normal upbeat, enthusiastic, positive, optimistic energy. And it can kind of be worrisome for other people too. Messy perfectionists take over the world when they learn to channel their enthusiasm into single intentional missions that they can execute in a dynamic way. They are all heart and drive in full speed, a die-hard romantic who truly believe that they can change the world with all the incredible, vast ideas that they have. One secret for the success of the messy perfectionists is to teach themselves how to focus on one thing, yes, really, one thing at a time, and taking a more professional, disciplined approach in continuing to work around and having more structure and that self-discipline even when your mood isn't in the right place. And to do this without having to abandon your high standards for yourself. And these are all skills that can be learned. So you might be thinking, okay, great. I have an idea of what type of perfectionist I am. It all makes sense, but now like, what do I do? How do I use these skills and this frame of viewing the world and mindset and these tendencies that might sometimes be a little self-destructive and lead to burnout? How do I change that into living in a place of truly thriving and reaching the success that I want and doing all this without burnout? Like, what is the secret sauce? And that's something that I'm going to be creating many future videos on as I continue to deep dive into this book and learning for myself and sharing what I'm learning with you. So hang in tight. We're going to get there. I believe in you. We've got this.